So you got to think of us as me as an offspring of two people who came from Brooklyn, New York. A nice Italian-American girl from Brooklyn, New York, came here in 1940. And a tough kid from the coal regions, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, comes here in 1940 to play football and to run track. My father came to be a Penn State athlete. He was a scholarship athlete. He stays, gets his bachelor's, his master's, his PhD here, and then stays and teaches here for 25 years. But those two people, my mom and dad, were the first generation of Penn Staters in this family. My sister, Jan, and I are the second generation of Penn Staters in this family. Now we have two sons and a third one on the way who are the third generation. So we took a brick out in the alumni walk a couple years ago, and it just says the Oldsey Alexander family, Penn State proud since 1940. So, big deal. Ooh, I got a little bit excuse me. Ooh, I got a little emotional. I don't want to do that.
When we had our fourth son, I can remember Gregory riding his scooter through campus past my father-in-law's office, and we were just reliving Bill's childhood, and I thought it was just a safe, warm community that I wanted my family to have as a place that they knew was their own. It was always Bill's. Bill introduced it to us, and now it's our home.
I grew up on a street called Waring Avenue, on the outskirts of town at the time, and about 4 houses away from a guy who was a football coach here named Jim O'Hora. And in Jim's basement, in a little lockout apartment that many homes in State College have, to rent to graduate students and people like that, was another guy from Brooklyn, New York, named Joe Paterno. He lived in the O'Hora's basement for, I think, 10 or 11 years. So when I was a little kid, playing sandlot football in the spare lot next to my best friend Dave's house, Coach Paterno, who was just this guy we knew as an assistant football coach who lived in Jim O'Hora's basement, would walk to practice, and he would stop and talk to us, throw the ball with us a little bit, coach us up, and then, off to practice that day. So pretty good way to spend your childhood. Not bad, not too shabby. I think one of the things that Penn Staters love about Coach Paterno is he's not fixated on athletics. He's fixated on his university. He's talking about, when he talks about Penn State proud, is what happens on the football field on a Saturday an important part of it? Yes, but he would tell you a very small element of it. It's pride in the entire university and the academic stature of this university. When I think about what we've done at Penn State over the last 30 years in terms of elevating our game academically, it's just nothing. It's an A+, grade all the way. Boy, Penn State proud. Go to Thon. I mean, we had friends up for the weekend, and we said next year when you come up, their son's gonna participate in Thon. We said we're gonna take you to Thon. You want to be Penn State proud. Take a couple hours in the Bryce Jordan Center when our kids are raising what next year ought to be over $10 million. Largest student-run philanthropic program in the world. That makes you Penn State proud. So it's a lot of things, and maybe non-Penn Staters think first about athletics and tailgating and the greatest place to be on a Saturday afternoon, but real Penn Staters know that it's so much more than that. Julie said, we're both in the business of education. I work for a company, McGraw-Hill, whose tagline is helping to build a smarter, better world. Julie works for Pearson Education. They talk about always learning, lifelong learning. So we're in a business that's about helping teachers be better and helping students to perform. If you're in the business of building a smarter, better world, or in the business of always learning, that's the business Penn State is in. I mean, when you look at the university, that's exactly the mission that a great university like ours is in. So for us, it feels very natural, feels very good. It's, if you're a Penn Stater and you really think about what the alma mater says and you live it, you're doing all right. Doing okay.
This line is, may our lives but swell thy fame. And that's what giving back to the university is. It is important that the university live far beyond us. and that what we've been able to accomplish in our lives, and I hope our children feel this very same way, that they want to give back, and that their successes are the successes of Penn State, and we should swell the fame of Penn State and all who will follow us here.
You want to be Penn State proud? Hang out with 40 kids in the College of Liberal Arts for an hour with some give and take.